It's not that people say you can't do it; they just want to see you do it. Is that you take that as a challenge? Does it motivate you at all?
It kind of just is what it is. Obviously, I've been lucky enough to play a lot of games at home at Arrowhead Stadium. It kind of just everything's felt that way. But now we get the great opportunity to go on the road, play in a hostile environment, one that I haven't been able to play with fans in the stands. And even though I know it's gonna be hostile and there are gonna be people talking trash and everything like that, I'm excited for it because I mean it's one of the best environments in football, and you want to do that when you grow up watching these games is playing the best environments and see what it's like.
Patrick, you guys have been a pretty good road team since you've been here. Something you can put your finger on why you've been so efficient?
I think it's just Coach Reed. He preaches communication, and you have to have nonverbal communication whenever you're playing on the road. And we try to do a good job of that, of just being able to be on the same page, being able to execute at a high level, and then not letting anything be too positive or too negative. Just kind of staying even keel and going about your business the right way. I think that's important on the road because it seems like one bad play is even magnified more, and a big play is magnified more. And so just staying with the process. It's something that Coach Reed preaches, and we do a great job of it.
You probably grew up in an era where Brady and Manning were the kind of big quarterback battle. You have any sense that that's maybe what you and Josh Allen are becoming now?
Yeah, I mean, we've played in a lot of big games, but I mean, I think the great thing about the NFL now is there's a lot of quarterbacks that are really good, and not to say they weren't back in the day, but it seems like every year a lot of these guys are in the playoffs, playing in these big games on Sunday night, Monday night, whatever that is. And so I'm excited for the challenge. I mean, I grew up watching those games and remember how much memories I have from that. And so hopefully we can play in these great games as well and give memories to the kids that come up behind us.
Patrick, similarly to the first road game, you guys are statistically an underdog on Sunday. I know that's probably not something you think about, but what do you think about going into a game as a technical underdog?
Yeah, I mean, I go into every game with the same mindset, and that's to go out there and win. I mean, we understand that's going to be a great challenge. We understand it's going to be a hostile environment, and we're playing a great football team that's won 7 games in a row or whatever it is. And so we know it's going to be a great challenge for us, but our mindset is that we're going to prepare ourselves throughout this week to go out there and win a football game, and that never changes.
Patrick, you guys have leaned into Isaiah a lot of touches since he got back from that 2-game absence. Just how important has he become to everything that you guys are doing offensively?
Yeah, he's a great football player. I think leaning into him, leaning into our offensive line and what they do best is extremely important to our team. And then, I mean, how the defense is playing, giving them a rest and letting us kind of control the ball. I mean, it's just stuff that you have to do in order to win football games in this league. It's not always going to be high-flying, but we're going to do whatever we can to win the football game at the end of the day. And if that's running the ball, throwing the ball, whatever that is.
You and Josh seem like you have a good relationship off the field, too, and obviously we've seen the golf matches and everything. And how does that play into this week? I mean, that relationship and your feelings, for him as just a friend.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody, you have friends, but whenever almost like when you compete against your friends, you almost want to win even more because of it. Josh is a great dude. I respect the way he plays football and just the guy that he is. But it's like when two guys that are ultra competitive, that are friends off the field, go up against each other. We obviously both want to win because we know we see each other in the off season, and you want to have just a little bit of those bragging rights.
Patrick, on that, you have a chance to end his season 3 out of the last 4 years, and I heard you say earlier you kind of accept the villain role now. You're in that role again. So, just on that, ending the Bills season 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah, I mean the Bills are a great challenge. I think everybody understands that. They've gotten my number a lot of times. We've been lucky enough to get them in the playoffs, but they beat us earlier this year, so we understand that we're going to have to play our best football to win the game, especially at their place. But it's not about ending someone's season for us. It's about just advancing, trying to find a way to survive and advance and get to the next round. And whatever that takes this weekend, we're going to try to do and try to go out there and win a football game.
As you went back and studied Miami, as far as your controllables go, what was going on in the red zone? How can you guys be better there?
Yeah, I think it's just execution. I mean, I always say it, but in the red zone, everything gets so much more detailed, and you have to execute at a higher level. And obviously, we were close, but we didn't get in there. And so when we're playing a game like this, we got to find a way to turn those field goals into touchdowns in order to win. But at the same time, you have to rely on your defense to get stops, which they've been doing, and know the flow of the game. And so that's something that we obviously have emphasized these last few weeks. But I'm glad with how we're moving the football, but let's find a way to punch them in the end zone at the end of drives.
Over the years, you guys had some issues earlier in the year with communication, getting plays in, getting ready to go. Looks like it's been cleaned up for sure the last few weeks. What did you put your finger on how you'll be able to kind of get that done?
Yeah, I think it's just I think the coaches took it as a challenge. I think the players took it as a challenge to make sure that we're getting in and out of the huddle the right way, getting aligned the right way, so we can go out there and be ourselves and play fast. And I think that just goes with everybody. I mean, everybody kind of came together. We talked about it, got all of us on the same page. In these last few weeks, we've done a great job of getting in and out of the huddle and getting the plays directed in the right way.
Over the years, the Bills have really liked playing late season games, January games in Buffalo. I'm talking back generations. They felt like it gave them an advantage because of the weather. After what you guys went through, is there any weather that's going to intimidate you?
Yeah, I mean, cold's cold. I don't know. I haven't played in Buffalo in January, but I know it's a great environment. But it's not negative 30 this week at least. I'm sure it'll be like negative 3 or 4, and it's going to be windy and cold. And we know it's a great challenge, but I don't know if it beats the cold that we played in this last week.
Patrick, it seems like during the playoffs, you scramble quite a bit. You've had a lot of big scrambles in the playoffs. Is that something? It just seems like in training camp, you can't really work on that, right? There's not a lot of quarterbacks getting hit. What is the process of trying to, fine tune that skill?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to compete and trying to win the game. Some of those moments where you might slide, you kind of just go for it because you know that it's kind of you get your win or go home at the end of the day. And so I think you see Josh doing that same stuff as well. As when he gets to the playoffs, sometimes you got to risk it in order to try to win the game with your teammates. And you just got to know when that right time is to slide and when the right time is to try to go get those extra yards. And that's something that I've worked on my entire career.
Is there one that really stands out to you in the postseason, whether it's the Titans one or a different one?
Yeah, definitely the Titans one. Because that's one of my favorite plays of all time because it went from like a really good play to almost a terrible play because I almost fumbled and then back to a great play again. And I was very tired, so I couldn't even celebrate. So that was definitely my favorite one. That one or the Super Bowl, obviously, the big run in the Super Bowl to get us in field goal range. Those two were probably my favorite 2 runs in the playoffs.
Patrick, when you play a team twice, there's kind of a theory that maybe the team that loses might have if you're fairly evenly matched, which you guys are, but maybe the team that loses has a little bit of an advantage because the team that wins is obligated to do what worked the last time. Otherwise, maybe they're going to get criticism. Why don't you run the ball again? Have you noticed that there's an advantage one way or the other, being the team that won the first one or lost the first one?
I mean, I haven't. I mean, we've played her twice, but we've played her, it seems like 100 times over the last 5 years. So it's a little bit of doing the same stuff and doing different stuff, and you want to do what you're best at, but you want to trick the defense a little bit, kind of, and same for them, both sides. And so at the end of the day, you change it up a little bit. You go out there, try to do your best stuff, and they know you, you know them, and see who wins that day.
We all saw the thing when your helmet broke. Whatever happened to the helmet? Did you keep it? Did someone come take it?
So
Did they win that piece?
Yeah, they're testing it right now, but I'm adamant on getting the helmet after. So it's definitely something that's cool. I'll be able to keep for a long time. But I mean, like they said, I mean, it did its job. I was perfectly fine after it. Obviously, they don't want it to crack, but it did absorb the hit. But definitely something that I'll keep, and I'll try to get this helmet to fit a little bit better. And we're finding a place to store the extra helmet for the next game.
Steve? Patrick, you and Rasheed have developed a lot of chemistry, it seems like, in the season. Just talk about that development and where you see his growth from early on to now.
Yeah, I think he just has a better understanding of the entire offense. He still is going to continue to get better and better and learn more and more. But he's willing to learn. I mean, he's always behind those veteran guys and asking questions, getting in the extra work. And he's a great football player, and he has all the physical ability, and I think he has the mental attitude to go out there and get better and better every single week. And obviously, we need him to be great right now, but I think he'll continue to get even better after the season and into his rest of his career because that's the type of attitude that he has.